was Jesus? When was David? When was Abraham? When were all these different people in the Bible? When were the time of the kings? Because I remember when I was first looking at the Bible, this stuff all confused me. I'm like, kings? I don't get all these different kings.
Can I ask you something first before you?
Yeah.
Where did you learn all this stuff? Did you go to school for it, or?
I'm reading the Bible.
Oh, nice.
Reading the Bible.
I love self-taught. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I did go to, okay, I was in a church where they had like a Bible school after, and I went to that. And, but the thing is, I learned you have to read it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because even the major Bible colleges, you better read it yourself. Because sometimes, like Jesus said, the tradition of man nullify the power of God. So men oftentimes will get their own tradition and then it gets developed. And then somebody teaches it and they teach somebody else. But if you're just going by what people teach, no, we have, well, as far as I see biblically, we got Jesus who's head of his church. So if you are in him, you are the church. Which church actually means called out ones. So we've been called out of the world into his kingdom. So that's what church means. It does not mean that it's this building or whatever building, because wherever you are, Jesus said where two or more are gathered, there he is. But the Bible timeline. So basically, who do you know is at the beginning? Who do you think's in the beginning? Biblically.
Adam and Eve.
Adam
Yep.
and Eve.
There you go, Adam and Eve. So if we got Adam and Eve in the beginning, and we have, okay, we had creation and the fall. Adam and Eve. And then we had the flood and the Tower of Babel. Okay, so we got that in the beginning. We got us over here. So if you got to you take a piece of paper.
Can you tell us, Susie, what the Tower of Babel is? I don't think
I
ever
know what
told
it
you.
was.
You do?
Yes.
What
Okay.
was it?
It was basically a tower that they built to try to get to God, and then they spoke the same language. Then God knocked it over, and then they all spoke different languages.
Yeah,
Very
good.
History of the world taught me that.
Yeah.
They couldn't pursue
Tico!
continuing because
Tico!
their languages were confused. They couldn't communicate anymore.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very good example because, you know, this is how you can divide mankind when they do not speak the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened there.
Yeah.
They were trying to build it all the way up into where they presumed God was.
Yeah. And it was a guy named Nimrod, a mighty hunter.
Yes.
Now I don't know, because I've heard people say was a mighty hunter of men, even. So, but I don't know. So
He's part of the class.
I wondered. Yeah, there you go. But whether he was just a mighty hunter of whatever creatures they had, or of men, but he was gathering men all to be there, because it makes me think when people are talking about one world order, stuff like that, one world
Or
religion.
even New World Order.
Yeah, New World
What
Order.
a new world.
It makes me think of the Tower of Babel. Man is the same now as they were back then. They're trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Get people gathered, but really controlled and going their direction instead. But God knocked it down. He says, no, you're going to spread out, seek me and find me. That's what he wants, seek and find him. Okay, so us on the end, Adam and Eve here.
Yeah.
Now you take a piece of paper, fold it in thirds, and open it up. You have 2 lines on it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then you just figure out who's on this line and who's on this line. Okay, so 2,000 years before us, who's the major character?
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus, 2,000 years ago. Now you figure this line, 2,000 years before Jesus, who is the major character? I'll give you a hint. It starts with an A.
Abraham.
Abraham.
Abraham. Yep. So isn't that amazing to think Abraham was 2,000 years before Jesus?
That's
So,
amazing.
It
I
is
mean,
amazing,
yeah.
actually.
I mean, we're thinking
It is.
Jesus is a long time ago, but Jesus is like Abraham was a long time ago, just like. So Abraham, I wonder if I got a map.
And how long was Abraham to Noah? How many years from Abraham to Noah?
Okay, let me get this first. Okay, so here would be Jerusalem,
Very
Yes.
and if you go up here, the Tigris and Euphrates River go down to the Persian Gulf. Well, Abraham was living down here in this area, and he wanted him move out and go to the land that he was going to set him. Because from Abraham, he was going to create a people that this promised Messiah was coming from, this seed that would be a blessing to all of the people throughout all over the place. So that seed was Jesus. Well, actually, the seed of the woman, it was told in Genesis that the seed of the woman would crush the serpent's head. Yeah, so isn't it great that Jesus came? So now we have Adam and Eve, us, Jesus, Abraham. Now, Jesus was the good shepherd. He said, I am the good shepherd, because the Old Testament talked about the good shepherd that was coming. And he was also a king, because remember when he was born, the people from the east were coming?
Yes.
Where's born the child that's going to be the king? And Herod had all the young ones killed because he was coming. So they were looking forward to this king. Everybody was looking forward to this king. They knew prophetically the king was coming at that time. So a shepherd king. Now, right between Abraham and Jesus, we have another shepherd king. Who would that be? Think of a shepherd king.
Joseph. Not Joseph, David.
Yep, there you go. David, King David. So he was actually the second king. So the first king they got was Saul, then David, then Solomon. Israel was only united under 3 kings. That's the only time they were not united. Saul, David, and Solomon. Okay, so that's the middle. Now, since you've got the ends, those 2 lines, the middle, now you just got to figure out who is between Abraham and David. So Abraham, there's a hint right there. Ends with an M. Moses. Yeah. There you go. So between Abraham. Okay, so now how many years is David before Jesus? Here's how you know. Because if this was 2,000 years, and from Jesus to Abraham was 2,000, half of that is 1,000. So that's David is 1,000 years before Jesus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was just reading Psalms the other day and I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because you got 150 Psalms, half of them are written by David, put to music, and they're speaking about the one who would come, that his hands and feet would be pierced for us. So they're showing him on the cross, actually. Okay, so then so we're getting pretty far. So then we got this, and then we got Moses. Okay, so what can we say there? Moses. Okay, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then Jacob has 12 sons. One of them is Joseph. So isn't this interesting? 12 sons, so they're not Jewish, right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are they Jewish? We don't even have Jew yet. But they're just one man out of the world. But Judah, the tribe of Judah, where we get Jew. So you don't even have Jews till later. So it's interesting that sometimes people get all wrapped up in Jew, or you got to be Jew. But it's interesting that God takes a man out of the world. But he's going to take one man out of the world, and then it is going to end up going from a small group of people in a small piece of land to all the people and all the ends of the earth. So it's kind of interesting.